Hey guys, so today I want to talk about the problem I see so many of you having, which is, why does my nanny leave me? Almost no notice. My dad's sick in my country, my mom's sick, my aunt is sick, family emergency, I'm not well, I have to go home for immigration reasons. Psst. I hate to tell you guys this. It's probably not true. I know your lady isn't lying. I know. No, she really means it, Rena. She told me her dad might be getting sick. I get it. I just get the opposite calls from them saying, yeah, Rena, they were paying me $600 a week. They were paying me $700 a week. And having me work a lot of extra hours and babysit a lot of extra nights as a live-in. My skills have gone up. I asked for a raise after 18 months. They said no. I get those calls. So I love to think every lady's being honest. The truth is that in Hispanic culture, people really do avoid the tough conversations. It's really not considered polite. It's not lying. It's considered the nice way to do things, the appropriate way, the polite way, to make everyone just feel comfortable, to not have the tough, gritty, heart-to-heart, honest conversations. So white lies are not evil. In a lot of cultures around the world, there are things we all tell white lies about that are just considered the cultural norm. Everyone does that. Psst, if you want to have those identified for your own self and in your own culture, have a child with autism. Because they will call you out every time when you're like, oh, sorry I was late. I got a phone call walking out the door. They'll turn to the friend and be like, no, you didn't. You were late because you had to take a poop. Like, really? There's only total honesty when you have a child with autism, which is great to model for your kids anyway. So I got over being able to tell the casual white lies very early on in having kids. Side note, for those of you with younger kids who are thinking I'm not wearing my rings. We're going to tell our children the honest names of body parts, and we're going to teach them the anatomically correct names because they shouldn't feel shame about their bodies. Good on you, and that's what I did too, and it's amazing. Until you're out at the playground and your son, your 6-year-old, is like, Mommy, my penis itches, and he keeps yelling it. Or your 10-year-old with autism is like, why does it keep getting long? Tact is also good in the world. White lies keep us functioning. So every culture has their white lies they tell. And in the Hispanic world, if that's where your help is coming from, listen, I work with women from all over the world. New Jersey is 50% Hispanic, and New York is 50% Hispanic or something close to that. So I'm just, and I place all over the nation now, all over the US, international someday soon maybe, but I'm just using what I know best. Point is, if you're hearing these things from your ladies every 6 to 9 months, the problem might be you. Let's just be honest. It may not be that their dads are all getting sick. So that doesn't make you bad people. I'm sure you're a really sweet family. I'm sure. But there's something about your job where either the ladies aren't a good fit, so you're getting ladies who love to do childcare in your housekeeping only job, and they're just not fulfilled. And after a few months, they have to go, which was you weren't matched. Obviously, maybe you took a number from someone on Facebook. Maybe you worked with a typical agency who just took one off a shelf and said, here, plug that one in. Less energy, less time, least minimal, lowest common denominator of effort. But that doesn't work over time. That's why we match every client individually. Because that's what is necessary to go the distance, to keep you guys together at years 2, 3, 4, 5, like we see. So if you're in that cycle of every 6 to 9 months and you are feeling soul crushed, you're feeling exhausted, your kids are like, Mommy, why do these people keep leaving? And that is killing you, which I totally relate to. You're not alone. I see a group of people who come to me who have gone through this, and they really are holding back tears when they're talking to me. Like, I can't keep going through this. My mental health is suffering and my kids are confused. That's a whole cohort of people out there. And what I think has happened is you haven't been matched to people in the past. You're not getting the right kind of hires, because it's like going into a bar one night and saying, I'm leaving with my husband. That's what it's like trying to find your lady from a Facebook or a WhatsApp group. Like, you're going to walk out with someone. Most of us would, I'm saying, God forbid would, but you could walk into a bar and say, I'm going to walk out with my husband. That's going to work, but whether or not it's the right choice for you is completely different than being matched with your soulmate, finding the right person intentionally. That's the difference of working with some agencies or just finding someone on Facebook and working with an agency that matches you. And the second problem is you may need that agency to just get real with you and say, your job isn't realistic, or this portion of your job, wanting a person to work till 10 o'clock every night, is what's killing you. Or that salary, I understand it's all you can afford, then we need to get creative, and you probably can't afford the help you need. You're going to have to get the help you can get. Whatever it is, obviously something isn't working. This is the great thing about capitalism, and the hard thing is that it has no heart and soul in many ways. It will eat its young. Whatever isn't working is going to be cannibalized, is going to be destroyed. Nature and capitalism. When I think that working with animals, I love chickens, goats, cows. When a chicken is born with a cross beak and it can't close its mouth to get food, the chick dies. And that's just the way it is. You cannot survive in nature with a massive birth defect. That the mother could love you all she wants, but she cannot give those resources to you to keep everyone surviving. So a marketplace is as vicious as nature. So if you are offering a job where you're not paying the market rate, and trust me, I don't agree with a lot of the market rates out there. Again, I say this every time. Do I think that 5 years ago the domestic market had the value that it should have had? No. Just the same that I think teachers, police officers, emergency response personnel are not paid anything like they should be for the amount that the quality of our society depends on them. Life isn't fair. The marketplace is not fair always. It's not an indicator of true moral value or purposeful value. But there was room for growth in the domestic market. I will stand up for my ladies all day and say, $12 an hour a few years ago wasn't fair in the New York market. But neither is 22. For someone has almost no experience and doesn't speak a word of English. So, again, you've heard me say this in a past video, immigrants coming in. One of the benefits, I would not let someone in your door who just walked across the border. I don't think that they are making choices in any way other than survival mode. And that's not what you want in your home right away. Let them prove their behavior. That's why we check references so thoroughly. Behavior is who a person is. But the benefit of that cohort coming into the marketplace for the domestic marketplace has been that it stabilized these runaway prices, these runaway salaries that just were getting ridiculous. When I had 24-year-olds with a couple years experience coming to me and saying, I want to make $25 an hour and you pay all the taxes, doesn't work for me. So that's good, but there's still a middle ground. And if you are on the lowest side of that marketplace, I had an amazing client come to me yesterday, and if she sees this video, I love her truly and deeply. She found a lady on her own, a brand new immigrant, And she was paying like $9 an hour to this person, a live-in, $600 a week, $9 an hour, basically, something like that. And even a new immigrant just left her with no notice. Like, texted her on a Sunday, I'm not coming back tomorrow. And how is she going to go to work? She's an anesthesiologist. She's a mother of 5 children. She has a baby. She has a busy husband is out of the country right now. Like, how is that? Who has good mental health in that situation? Show me the superwoman who has good mental health in that situation, and I want to learn from her. I would be losing it. I think we all would. Husbands too. That's not a functional way to live as a parent and a professional. So if you don't want that to keep happening to you, sometimes it's bad karma coming back to get you. God's coming back to teach you a lesson, and God runs the world, and you are paying the fair amount, and your job's reasonable, and everything's great, and it just happens. It happens to the nicest, best families. Those families who I think like, wow, I hope you have the best help ever in the whole wide world, and it'll be my honor to get that for you. They come to me with the saddest stories sometimes. I mean, just really one person after the next. But sometimes it's a you problem. It's an identifiable problem. So if you are stuck in that pattern, I would say reach out. I'm happy to give you free advice. I do it all the time. Again, most people turn into clients, and that's great, but I'm good. We have all the clients we can handle. We've grown. We just did an assessment. We reached a 1-year anniversary of really expanding my agency, of me being able to say, hey, my kids are where they need to be. I'm ready to throw myself into this full time. I got my kids across some sort of finish line to teenagerhood where they don't need to bake muffins with me in the kitchen after school anymore. They said, Ma, you go do your thing. And gosh, I think our agency has really expanded 400% month after month. I'm sorry. It's been a blessing and a crazy journey. So I've got all I need. That's not why I'm here, what I'm here to say. But before just bemoaning the market and saying, who are these ladies today? Could be again, God's bringing a lesson back to you. You were unkind to an employer. You cut corners. You stole time by fiddling on the computer at work. You left an employment situation in the past where, you just said, oh, hey, sorry, I can't give you more notice. I'm out. And God said, hey, I need you to understand what that means. In order to be a good person, you have to understand what it means to show up in an honorable and kind and empathetic way. And you have to feel that pain before you can really do that. There's a higher power, in my opinion, involved in everything. So could be that. But before you bemoan fate, cry to God like Job, say to yourself, these women today, look at yourself, look at your job. You may want it to be, well, I paid this much 2 years ago. Well, my mom had a lady like this. Well, this is how it should be. These ladies today, nobody wants to work. Yeah, nobody wants to work. And ain't you changing it? Ain't I changing? We're not changing the system here. It is what it is. You have to function in the reality of capitalism and in the marketplace today. Now, again, doesn't mean you need to walk out and pay $25 an hour. Please don't. I don't. I have people coming to me saying, I have to have a lady right away. Look, if I have to pay this, I'll just do it. And I say, no, that's how they get us. No, we're not giving into that. Absolutely not. I'm going to find you a good lady at a fair salary. And that's what we get done. I don't give into these highest rates. Absolutely. I will not give, the Jewish word is haskama, approbation to that 24-year-old with almost no experience demanding A+ 10 years experience rates. I will not be a party to that. I will not drag my clients down that road. There's no desperation that's worth that. We will figure out a short-term solution for you and get you the right long-term hire rather than see you overpay every week and give approbation to that sort of highway robbery and blackmail. Absolutely not. So That's not what I'm saying, but there are people out there who unknowingly are clinging on to a marketplace that is long gone. We're in a post-COVID world, or want things to be a certain way, so they've decided. You know what I see more than anything? There's one person who has a friend. Oh, I have a friend down the block who pays six. Great. Yes, there's one person in every bunch, but that doesn't mean it's the model. That person, you don't know what God has planned for that person. You don't know what good deed they did that they're reaping the benefits of now. You don't know that their lady doesn't do XYZ that you need a lady to do. Not every job is the same. You might need a different type of person, and that has a different value in the marketplace. Please do not say, well, I have that one friend who has this, and that means, we all have a friend who did one kind of diet and it worked for, well, my friend did this diet and she lost 60 pounds. That doesn't mean it's right for you, and that doesn't mean it's the norm. Her biology might have worked that way, and God bless. But that doesn't mean it works for most people. So please don't do that. Please don't think that that's the justification to keep putting yourself through this horrible pattern, this revolving door cycle. I think that's so psychologically destructive. I think it's horrible on your children. It doesn't make good economic sense. You invest all this time in training that woman and getting her to a point where she knows your routine and knows your family, for her to leave. Do you understand what an investment of time that was? You could have paid a better person more money every week, had to spend less time training them because they hit the ground running, and you're not going through the search again. You're not wasting all this time and emotional energy again. You're able to show up at work and not have to be out because you don't have childcare. I have to leave early at my school. You could be earning more money and getting that promotion in a few months to make it a no-brainer to pay the lady more money per week. I understand it's taking up 80% of your salary, 40%, 60%. I get it. But that doesn't mean you can be stubborn enough into hiring someone who's going to stay with you for 3 years. So if that's the pattern you're in, please, let's talk. Free conversation. It's no problem. Check in with some friends if you don't want to talk to me. Hey, what are you guys offering? What do you think the market's like? Throw out the lowest few and the highest few. Take the middle. That's where the marketplace is. You always throw out the outliers. That's the way you figure anything out. Don't cling on to sometimes we just hear what we want to hear. That one person that's paying okay, good luck. Find your unicorn, but don't get mad when that unicorn doesn't come along or she flies away after a few months. So I feel for you. I feel for your children. If another person calls me crying in the next week saying, my lady left me after 6 months, this is what I was doing, what was I doing wrong? I'm going to cry with them because my heart is breaking right now for this client of mine. She knows who she is. Just breaking, really. Like, I'm too empathetic. I feel it with you guys. So don't do it, please. Make a long-term, economically sound decision for your family. There's a lot at stake here, including your mental health and the well-being of your children, much more than the cleanliness of your home. So there's my passionate speech for the day, guys. Just had to come on and talk about that. Best of luck out there to everyone. I'll be posting more videos. Be sure to subscribe, not to miss them. I know I haven't been on in a couple weeks. Things are just growing so rapidly. Thank God. Trying to manage everything. But I'll be back soon with more to say about spring cleaning schedules, about the upcoming hiring season for the summer, how to make sure you're getting the best help. And I'm always here to answer your questions. Shoot me your questions. I love answering them privately or on air. All the best, guys.